Hello, Finance 320. I did my stock pitch on a company called Exact Sciences Corporation, which is actually located in Madison, Wisconsin, and the ticker symbol is EXAS. I'm going to start by providing a brief company overview of Exact Sciences. Then I'll move on to company-specific value drivers that may drive the stock price. Then I'll move on to industry-specific value drivers. Then I'll look at macroeconomic considerations. And then I'll finally move on to how I value the company and the future potential in terms of long-term stock projections. And of course, I'll give you guys the opportunity to ask questions at any point after the presentation is completed. Exact Sciences is a molecular diagnostics company focused on colorectal cancer. The company has exclusive intellectual property protecting its non-invasive molecular screening technology for the detection of colorectal cancer specifically. My investment thesis when looking to invest in this company focused on three specific factors, the first of which was Exact Sciences' superior patent-protected technology. Specifically, the company has a strong patent protection portfolio, which will help it generate higher revenues and margins in the intensely competitive biotechnology market. Exact Sciences' product portfolio includes 14 U.S. patents and 51 foreign patents, with each having a term of 20 years. The company's primary patent, Cologuard, has addressed the lack of compliance of individuals in regards to colorectal cancer screening by allowing patients to be screened without the discomforts and inconveniences of other screening methods. The second factor that I looked at for my investment thesis was Exact Sciences' significant market potential for colorectal cancer screening. The colorectal cancer market is huge because this is actually the second deadliest cancer in the U.S., causing almost 50,000 deaths per year. And while this cancer is very fatal, it is estimated that 1/3 of colorectal cancer-related deaths could be saved if more individuals underwent regular screening. Of the 80 million individuals in the U.S. recommended for colon cancer screening, only 25% are regularly screened, which clearly illustrates the ineffectiveness and the public's aversion to currently available screening techniques, which obviously opens a window for Exact Sciences' non-invasive treatment. My third value driver in my investment thesis is the changing demographics of America. So right now there's a rise in the average age of the population in the U.S., which I think will ensure an inflow of individuals ridden with diseases such as colorectal cancer. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there will be 72.1 million people above the age of 65 in 2030, compared with 40 million currently. This increase in population of individuals aged above 65 means that there's going to be more people prone to diseases, and it signals that there's going to be pent-up demand for medical care, which could present significant market potential for Exact Sciences. Provided these investment considerations and the fact that this investment project is only lasting a few months, I recommend a 4% long position in Exact Sciences with a near-term price target of $14.95, which represents an 11% gain over its current price of $13.45. So in order to provide a comprehensive overview of the company, it's important that you guys have a basic understanding of what colorectal cancer is and how it affects the human body. So our colon actually sheds millions of cells from its wall into our stool stream every day, and when these cells degenerate, they release DNA, which the Cologuard test would detect as both a preventative and proactive defense against future cancer. While colorectal cancer is the second most deadly form of cancer, it is also considered to be one of the most preventable types of cancers. If colorectal cancer is detected in early stages, a patient is much more likely to have a complete recovery, and treatment costs can also be significantly reduced if colorectal cancer is detected early. Lastly, Exact Sciences is actually in the final stages of the FDA approval process, which is extremely long and a long-winded process. So they're finally reaching, the final stages of this process, and they're set to present to the FDA panel on March 27th of this year. As you guys can see, Exact Sciences has achieved great levels of stock appreciation in the past as a result of its success throughout the FDA approval process in presenting various facts and findings of the Cologuard test. And I believe that the stock appreciation is going to continue into the future as it nears FDA approval and the release of its long-awaited product. So in terms of company-specific drivers, it's expected that the Cologuard test would cost around $500, and this would be a really simple do-it-yourself home-based test. And it's important to note that at $500, it would be at least 50% cheaper than colonoscopies. The average cost of a colonoscopy is actually $1,185 in the U.S., so it's a significant price premium above the Cologuard test at this point. Exact Sciences' non-invasive sDNA test could also significantly increase cancer screening due to its affordability, patient-friendly characteristics, and high sensitivity rates. Based on previous tests, 85% of all cancers were detected by this test, and 64% of precancers were detected as well. Exact Sciences also has completed the build-out of its clinical lab, which allows the firm to control costs. The lab will have the ability to process 1 million tests annually once complete. I believe that another value driver is the firm's CEO, Kevin Conroy, who became the CEO of Exact Sciences in April of 2009. Prior to his current role, Conroy served as president and CEO of a company called Third Wave Technologies, which was also a molecular diagnostics company providing DNA and RNA analysis products to clinical research and agricultural customers. Actually, in June of 2008, Third Wave signed a definitive agreement to be acquired by a company called Hologic for $580 million. So he clearly has a track record of success within this industry. And then just on a side note, I noticed while doing some research that actually 25% of the current shares are sold short. So there's clearly some pessimism within Exact Sciences, and I believe that this could actually be a driver of appreciated stock price in the future as these individuals learn about the benefits of this company and are forced to cover down the road. So moving on now to industry-specific drivers, I believe one of these drivers will be the fact that the company is moving towards having Medicare and private insurers actually paying for Cologuard, which would be huge because it would open up the market to such a wide audience in terms of the people who would use this product and continue to use it down the road. And the company's really looking to achieve this goal by marketing to large healthcare groups. One thing that I thought was significant to note was that these groups actually employ about 40% of the country's 300,000 primary care doctors who actually prescribe the test. So, if you're targeting this small group, it actually leads to a considerable amount of traction within the market as a whole, which is obviously beneficial for Exact Sciences down the road. I believe that another industry-specific driver would be potential competition. This is a negative. I believe that one of the biggest threats that Exact Sciences faces is in the blood-based cancer screening market. There are currently companies out there that can detect cancer in the blood. The only problem is that they can't tell where the cancer is. They can just tell that there is cancer in the blood at this point. So the biggest threat is, when they develop the technology to detect, specific locations of the cancer and being able to track it to those locations so that they can treat it thereafter. So in doing this stock pitch, I also thought it was important to consider various macroeconomic considerations, the first of which that I thought of was the current state of quantitative easing, which people usually refer to now as QE Fed tapering, and basically this and its effect on the liquidity of global equity markets. So as a result of the Fed's bond buyback program, interest rates have been at historically low levels, which has driven investors and individuals as a whole to riskier markets, notably equity markets. So if obviously they start to taper this program, it could lead individuals away from equity markets and into safer asset classes. So this could lead to a limited amount of capital for Exact Sciences, which could obviously lead to a deterioration in its expansionary process. Another threat or macroeconomic consideration are government spending cuts, or specifically cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. If Exact Sciences is approved for Medicare and Medicaid, then obviously it doesn't want spending cuts, or it'll be detrimental to its sales in the future. The third consideration in terms of macroeconomic policies would be economic conditions in global markets. I believe that Exact Sciences is poised to capture a significant portion of the U.S. market, but in order to be a sustainable business down the road, I really think that it has to grow into a global competitor, and by doing this, it's basically relying on global growth. So we need global growth in order for Exact Sciences to continue its expansion later. And lastly, I'm going to show you guys how I actually ended up valuing Exact Sciences in order to look at its long-term growth potential and its projected long-term stock price. So I built in some various assumptions to my model. Basically, I said that Cologuard is going to be used every 3 years by 25% of the 80 million people in the addressable market. And these individuals belong to the high-risk cancer zone. And I said that these people are going to start using the Cologuard test at this frequency beginning in 2017. And I also assumed that the average test cost for patients is going to be $500, which is what it's estimated to be at right now. And I just noted that Exact Sciences gets 100% of the cost because they own their processing lab, as I said before. In addition to this, I also assumed that the industry average EBITDA margin for molecular diagnostic companies was 25%. I got this number by looking at various other molecular diagnostics companies and then just computing a benchmark average. I also came up with the assumption that the industry average EBITDA is going to be 8 times. So I got this as well by considering the potential market, and I also looked at the average, or no, the total number of shares outstanding, which is 70.92 million. You can sort of look at my calculations there, but in the end, I calculated that the company is going to be worth $94 a share within the next 5 years, based on these valuation characteristics and its current projected market exposure and its scale within the colorectal cancer market. And obviously these are representative of estimated long-term projections. A lot of things can change. If the lab doesn't work out as planned, if the drug doesn't get approved, or not the drug, but if the Cologuard test doesn't get approved in March, obviously all of these assumptions are useless, but that's the point of it being a model, and with these assumptions in mind, I believe that this is about as accurate a forecast as any. So going off of that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll be sure to get back to you.